Now taken a jibe at what is happening within the India alliance. Shehzad Poonawalla from the BJP has just tweeted. He's asking what is going on within the India alliance nowadays. Now a new chapter of the fight can be seen from Madhya Pradesh to Uttar Pradesh. They're only exposing each other. There is no ideological mission or vision of this alliance. He's in fact also gone on to say what Akhilesh Yadav has said is right. If Rahul Gandhi is calling something an X-ray, then why had Jawaharlal Nehru, Indira Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi stopped it? That's the question that he's put out. Let's first listen into a reaction coming in from the BJP, then we'll go back to Pallavi.
आजकल इंडी गठबंधन के बीच में क्या चल रहा है? कभी आम आदमी पार्टी पंजाब में कांग्रेस पार्टी को एक प्रकार से ललकारती है, कभी दिल्ली में कांग्रेस पार्टी आम आदमी पार्टी को भ्रष्ट बोलती है, कभी बंगाल में तृणमूल कांग्रेस और लेफ्ट या तृणमूल कांग्रेस और कांग्रेस पार्टी लड़ाई झगड़ा करते हैं, कभी केरल में कांग्रेस और लेफ्ट पार्टियां लड़ते हैं। अब इसका एक नया जो चैप्टर है इस पूरे कलेश का, वो मध्य प्रदेश से लेकर उत्तर प्रदेश में दिखाई दे रहा है, जहां पर अखिलेश जी कभी हमला करते कहते कांग्रेस धोखेबाज पार्टी है। अखिलेश यादव जी ने जो कहा है वो तथ्यात्मक रूप से सही बात है। यदि आज राहुल गांधी किसी चीज को एक्सरे बुलाते हैं तो भाई बताना चाहिए कि उनके नेहरू जी ने, उनकी इंदिरा जी ने, उनके राजीव जी ने इस एक्सरे को क्यों रोका था।
Our colleague Pallavi continues to be with us. And Pallavi, this is a narrative that we've heard from the BJP in the past as well, that when these opposition parties came together, they came together just for convenience. There was no ideological level or common ground for these parties to come together. And considering the fact we see more and more regional parties fight it out in the open, it's just proving the BJP's point. How challenging is it now going to be for the opposition to take on an aggressive machinery like the BJP as we inch closer to the crucial general elections?
Well, I mean, the last big experiment by the Congress party in coalition government was really the UPA, which was formed in 2004. But things were very different then, Ridhima, because the alliance which Congress was picking up, they did not have any national ambitions. The Congress at that point of time was a much stronger party than it is today. And therefore, today things are very different. I mean, a Trinamool Congress or a Samajwadi party or an AAP, for example, don't see any reason why they should buckle under any pressure coming in from the Congress. So they are speaking up, they are speaking out, and they are asking many questions to the Congress and exposing what they call the hypocrisy in the grand old party. And Akhilesh Yadav has been relentlessly attacking, and I would say that's little worrying news for the Congress, because the state where the Congress will have an alliance in SP under the umbrella of the India Front is Uttar Pradesh. And today the Congress has only one MP from the state, which is Sonia Gandhi. Now if the Congress has ambitions for at least 4 to 5 seats, it really needs to have a friendly fight or some kind of an assistance to come in from the Samajwadi party. With the kind of words coming in from Akhilesh Yadav, that certainly seems to be very difficult. And second, if you look at yourself as a voter and not just as a political expert or a journalist, how does it look like? It looks like an alliance which has come together under compulsion. That, you know, they don't seem to be talking in one voice, they are taking pot shots at each other. In such a situation, it becomes very, very easy for the BJP to prick and hole in the entire idea of an alliance which has come together to take on the BJP in 2024.
Oh, absolutely. It is extremely confusing, not just for the voter, but also even for the party Karyakarta, that you have such jibes out in the open on a local level, but nationally you want them to come together. And that was one of the biggest criticisms when this opposition was coming together. At that time, Pallavi, the opposition came out and said that national issues and regional issues are very different. But you were just speaking to one voter who said, actually, the difference is not so much. Isn't that going to be the biggest challenge as far as the opposition alliance is concerned?
So two quick things over here. Why is the Congress party is hoping for a complete sweep as far as the 5 state elections are concerned. Now, if it wins in at least 2 to 3 of them, it's going to go back to the bargaining table and say, look, we are back in the race. We are the only ones competent to take on the BJP, because we are the two only parties which more or less has a pan-India presence, and therefore the Congress will have to be given a lion's share. I think that is where the problem will begin, because the Congress has often been accused, whether it's the NCP or the TMC, of behaving like a big bad brother. That's one problem. And second, you're absolutely right, Ridhima. You can talk about alliances, but at the end of the day, it's on the ground which the Karyakartas also need to have an alliance. I saw that happening in many states like Uttar Pradesh, where if you remember, UP ke Ladke alliance took place between Akhilesh Yadav and Rahul Gandhi, but that was not resonating on the ground. What the Karyakartas were confused about is that all along our politics has been fighting against each other. Today we are supposed to fight for each other. How does that really work? So that is going to be another grey area, which is why the working of any kind of an alliance becomes difficult, not just between an SP and a Congress, but I would also say between a TMC and a Congress and an AAP and a Congress as well.
Pallavi, just speaking from a Congress perspective, what are sources telling you? How are they seeing these open barbs? The Akhilesh Yadav comment might have come today, but we've seen many similar ones in the past as well. As you said, they would want to use their recent electoral success to say, hey, we have the bigger bargaining chip. But if these jibes continue, what is going to be the plan of action as far as the Congress is concerned?
See, one thing I can say about after covering years of the Congress party is that they also have an attitude of, ignorance is bliss. They kind of very dismissive. They're not too perturbed about it. While whatever they may say openly, but, behind the scenes, they say, oh, this is going to be sorted out once we are going to meet. But, you also have to nip it in the bud. This kind of acrimony, if it's going to simmer, if you're not even trying to have those backroom channels or negotiations, it looks bad. And in all of these states which we are talking about, where the state elections are taking place, there is no competition between the SP and the Congress. So this argument that the Samajwadi Party needs to assert itself also doesn't work. I mean, the Congress has not been able to convince the AAP, for example, not to put up candidates against it in many areas, which I saw in Madhya Pradesh earlier, in Rajasthan also, where I am at this point of time. So that kind of a bitterness is going to be very, very difficult to overcome. But I think it will require a lot of manipulation, a lot of reaching out by, say, the Congress president and possibly Sonia Gandhi also, to try and reassure the smaller parties that we are not going to, kind of browbeat you. We are not going to have any control over you. At the end of the day, we all need to work together. And I think the bigger point that they're going to try and make is that our biggest goal should be to get rid of the BJP in 2024.
Pallavi, it will be a challenging uphill task as far as not just the Congress, for the opposition parties also to present some sort of common ground at a time when the attacks by the BJP are only going to get sharper in days to come. We'll have to leave that conversation